Hey guys, long time no see. Actually, uploaded a video earlier today, but today I wanted to come back and do a video. Since it is Halloween season, I guess. I want to do a video today about like creepy experiences and stuff that I've went through over the years and stuff. And this video might be a couple of parts, depending on how my camera acts or whatever. So right now, this will be the first part. Okay, so the first time I ever had like any type of like paranormal kind of experience was I was about, I think it was about 5 or 6 years old, and I was with my grandma at her apartment. And my grandma lives in this apartment where like the back of the apartment was like Indian burial, like legit, like a lot of Indians and stuff were buried there. And it was like the graveyard was actually like the apartment complex was like right here, and the graveyard was like right here, and there was only like a fence like separating it. And if you look at my grandma's like back door, you could see straight back there. They had like clotheslines and stuff at the apartment complex, and you could see like the little headstones and stuff like back there. So when I was 5 years old, I remember one day my grandma's nephew was really sick. He used to live with me and my mom. Like he lived at our house for a little while. And then he kind of went off to like a hospice center, and like when he was like in his last like stages or whatever, his last little bit, he went and lived in like a hospice like thing or whatever. And that day, one day, me and my grandma were at the apartment because I used to always stay with her on the weekends, and there was like this little stairway, like where my grandma lived, like her friend lived like at this little area, like it was like kind of square. Like I don't know how to explain it, but there was like a walkway past like her friend's house and led up to my grandma's apartment. And one day me and my grandma were walking back to her apartment, and I saw this white dog. It looked like a Siberian husky. That's what it looked like, and it was white, and it was walking on the sidewalk. And I was like I used to be afraid of dogs, and I was like scared, and I wouldn't go like follow my grandma. She's like, "Come on, what are you doing?" I was like, "It's a dog right there." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "It's a dog right there." And she's like, "No, it isn't." And she's like, I'm like, "There is a dog clearly right there." And she was just like, "Whatever." We go up to the house, nothing else. The next day, we find out that my grandma's nephew actually passed, and my grandma went to her friend's house. My grandma's friend lived in a like my grandma lived in a 2-story apartment. Her friend lived in like a 1-story apartment, and she lived like down the walkway from us. And she was a mixed race woman. She was Native American. She was like Cherokee Indian, black, and she was white. And she did believe in a lot of like old like Native American tales and stuff. And she had told my grandma that she was trying to call her that night. And my grandma told her that her nephew died. She was like, "I knew somebody in your family was gonna die. I saw a white dog at your back porch." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, was it the same white dog?" And she was like, "I tried to call you last night and let you know, but you didn't answer the phone." My grandma was like, "What time?" She's like, 10 o'clock. I was asleep. And I was like, so I wasn't seeing things. There was a white dog. So, and I guess like in the Native American like culture, I guess like white animals represents like death or like animals or whatever. But that was like my first like weird moment. That was like my first weird experience. That was number one. Okay, so my second paranormal experience was when I was about like, it started when we moved to the house that we live in now. Basically when we first moved here, the house was kind of like weird. I don't know. It's kind of an older house, not too old, but it just has like creepy vibes to it. When we first moved here, you'd always see ladybugs all over the house. It was so weird. They'd be everywhere. And that lasted like the first 2 years we lived here, which is creepy. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Beloved. It's like based on a book by Toni Morrison, but it has like Oprah and Kimberly Elise and like Thandie Newton, Danny Glover, all them in it. But one scene, the character Beloved like comes from she like rises from the dead, and she's like covered in ladybugs and stuff, and it was really creepy. But anyway, whenever we would always be like in a room together in the house, you would always hear stuff like crash in the kitchen. Like it was so weird. Like stuff would always like crash in the kitchen, like crash to the floor or whatever. And it would only happen when we were all in the same room, like if we were all in the living room. There'd be no breeze or anything coming through to knock the stuff over. You go into the kitchen and there'd be nothing on the floor, but you would clearly hear something falling over. in the kitchen, but there'd be nothing. Nothing in the cabinets would be knocked over. Nothing, on the table would be knocked over. No, like, utensils or anything would be knocked over. But you'd always hear something crash to the floor in the kitchen, and it was so weird. But that doesn't. One night I had a dream, and the only reason I remember this because I did write it down back then, and I told my family about it the next day. I had a dream about this girl. She was telling me about her house and like her life and how she died and stuff. It was weird. Like, she was just talking about how her house was taken away from her or something. And in the dream, I was talking to her. I was like, okay, but we live here now or something. And it hasn't happened since. Like, I don't know. That was just such a weird dream that I had. Like, I might have been watching stuff like paranormal stuff that night, like before I went to sleep, for me to have that dream, because it was so weird. It didn't even make any sense. But all I can say is that we don't have stuff like crashing to the ground. Like, we don't hear those noises in the kitchen anymore. So maybe I worked some kind of magic with like spirits or whatever. But that, okay, my third story is probably my creepiest one. If not number one creepiest, it's definitely in my top list of creepiest things that ever happened to me. This happened when I was in 5th grade. I used to be very obsessed with like all those paranormal shows, and I still kind of watch them today, but I'm not as into them as I used to be. Like Ghost Hunters International, Scariest Places on Earth, Paranormal Witness, Paranormal Collector. I used to watch all those shows. I was in 5th grade. One day I was watching Ghost Hunters. I was sitting right in the spot where I am right now, the exact same spot. This is my bed. I'm sitting and recording this, obviously, and I'm sitting beside my window, which you can't see. And I was just sitting here, like, the window was closed, there was no wind blowing, no breeze in the house or anything. I was sitting on this bed watching paranormal, and I was not watching Paranormal Activity, I was watching Ghost Hunters, and behind me, like, where my tripod is, you can't see it right now, is my TV. And it used to be, like, an old TV back here. Because I was in 5th grade, that was, like, eons ago. And my grandma has these dolls, like, my grandma collects dolls. She had these little, like, kind of like merengue dolls or whatever, like, I don't know, they were, like, dancers. They didn't dance, they were like posed like dancers, and they used to sit on top of that TV. Now I'm laying in this bed, like I said, there wasn't an earthquake, there was no breeze through the house, there was nobody stomping through the house or anything for these things to move. The doll went from up above off the TV. She flew, like, I don't mean she like flew with wings, but it went from like up here where the TV was and crashed down to the floor, like directly way like to that area over there is my door. Like behind the camera is my door, and she landed near the door. And that's a good 6-7 feet across the room. When I tell you I did not move from that spot on this bed where I am right now for like 15 minutes with my mouth like, I did not know what was going on. And then I got up and I ran to the kitchen to my mom. I was like, oh my God, the doll just fell off the TV. She just flew off the TV. And my mom's like, you sure she didn't fall? I'm like, no, she crashed. Like, if she would have fell directly down or to the side. She went like feet across the room. I was so scared, y'all. That still confused me. Like, I don't know what happened. But that was just one of my weirdest moments. Like, I still don't understand why did that happen. It's still creepy. I don't understand. I'm just like, then my grandma told us that like some lady died here. She doesn't know if she died in this room or if she died in our living room. It's like, thanks, Grandma. Thanks. I really needed that. I really needed to know that. But that was just the creepiest moment. It still makes me like, ugh, like to even think about it today. And it was so many years ago, but it was so creepy. It hasn't happened again. There's stuff on my new TV. Like, there's stuff up there now. And it hasn't happened again. And I hope it doesn't, because I don't know what I'll do if it happens again. But yeah, that was my number 3 story. So we're getting close to the end of this, I guess. But yeah. So my next creepy experience or whatever, oh my goodness, what's wrong with my camera angle? But anyway, I was watching another paranormal show, and I want to say, I think it may have been Psychic Kids, I think, or something like that. But basically there was this lady, she was like a medium, and she was using spirit rods. If you don't know what spirit rods are, they're like these wood like dowels or whatever, and you hold them in your hands like this, like between your thumbs, and you like ask questions and they like go in or out, and I did that backwards. And so me being an idiot, me being curious and creepy, I had these wooden dowels from like this God's Eye project that we did like in 9th grade, and I took the rods and hold them between my thumbs, and I start asking questions about, is there stuff in this house? And they move in, and whatever direction they moved, I was so scared I threw those things like straight across the room. I was like, nope, and I broke them up and threw them away. That was weird. I don't know why I did that, but that was another. Alright guys, this is my fifth creepy experience story for this video. This one is the most recent one. It happened, it will be a year on December 26th. It will be a year since this happened. And it started when my sister moved into her new house. My sister moved into a new house with her boyfriend and her 2 kids. I think it was maybe November of last year that they moved into the house with her kids. And I remember the first time that she took my mom and I over to, you know, see the house. She had her kids and everything. And I have 3 nephews. The middle one he was 4 at the time. His brother was, I think, 7, and his little brother was like 1. And we go to the house, and the house is kind of weird looking, and not to mention their address is 13. There's weird stuff with my sister in 13. She was born on Friday the 13th, had 2 of her children on the 13th day. It's just creepy stuff with my sister and the number 13, and she's a story for another day. Anyway, we pull up to the house. My nephew, the middle nephew, the 4-year-old, we get out, you know, we're going in to like look at the house. We're like, aren't you gonna come in? He's like, nope. And he stays outside playing with the ball. And we're like, why don't you want to come in? He's like, nope. That's a red flag. Okay, if you've watched any horror movie, you know that if the dog starts barking outside the house or the little kid feels uneasy, you know that there is bad stuff there and you should move. Like The Conjuring, like every other horror movie with children and dogs, you know that. So we walk into the house and it's just weird. They have like a creepy stairway, like narrow stairway and stuff. It's just a weird house. It's just weird, you know. So I remember the first time I spent the night over there was Christmas Day. I have 2 nieces too. The youngest niece, me and her are like this, we like so close, and she wanted me to spend the night because her sister wasn't there. So I go over there, spend the night on Christmas Day, you know, we're on the computer, you know, playing The Sims, watching videos, you know, just playing around and stuff. Everybody goes to sleep. All of us, you know, the younger folks, we fall asleep in the living room, and my sister and her boyfriend, the baby, were in my sister's room sleeping, and I'm usually the last one awake. Like here at my own house, like anywhere I go, I can't go to sleep in a new place. Like I'm weird with sleep in weird places and stuff. So I was up and I was trying to go to sleep, and everybody is asleep. Like the kids, we were all on the couch, all 4 of them and me. The baby was in the room, like I said. They were all asleep. I'm laying on the couch with my phone and laptop, and I hear footsteps in the kitchen. And the living room is like right here. The kitchen is like back of, like behind the living room. I hear footsteps. There's no lights in the kitchen. My sister is blind as a bat, so is her boyfriend. They would have the lights on. They couldn't see in the dark. And they would have walked in front of us because their bedroom is right here. You know, you walk out of the living room, you walk into their bedroom. So why would they walk around to go to the kitchen? I didn't see her. So me being an idiot, I decided to go, you know, I'm not going to go peep in the kitchen, you know, to see who's in there. So I shine my light in my sister's room. My sister, her boyfriend, baby, all on the bed asleep. I shine my phone flashlight on the couch beside me. All the kids are asleep. I still hear footsteps. I dove onto that couch, put the cover over my head, got my phone, turned on my computer. I turned on the TV and turned the volume down. I did not sleep that night. I could not sleep. I heard footsteps, and there was nobody in there, and I heard footsteps, and that was just like the most unnerving thing I ever heard in my life. And I knew it wasn't just my mind playing tricks on me. I heard footsteps. Fast forward a couple months ago, like I think it was in like June, I'm back over there. My sister tells me, how about this guy told me that when they got the house, like there were these dogs like found dead, like 5 German Shepherds found dead in the house. There's also an old man who had a heart attack and died in the shower downstairs, and an old lady died there. They don't know how she died, but they know she died there. They don't know what room. So needless to say, my sister's house is creepy, and whenever I'm over there, I always have lights on before I fall asleep. I haven't had any like weird experiences over there lately, but hopefully I don't. But yeah, you guys, those are all my paranormal experiences and weird stuff. And if you have some, leave them below. I'd love to read them. If you guys want any other videos, let me know. Leave a comment.